Get started, everybody. Hi, guys. Welcome to the first Zoomcast of the Mazza season. I am Stanley. Second? The season started like today. I don't know. I am Stanley.
We
I'm
did
here
the
with
Zoomcast a few weeks ago. A few months ago.
I'm here with... Stop talking. I'm here with Mocast, the co-commish, and I'm here with the commissioner and the reigning and defending Mazza champion, Yossi Abadi. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to moderate tonight. We're going to do a quick review of the draft. Each guy will review three teams. We'll give a steal and an overpay for each team. We'll make playoff predictions for the league, not for the NFL. And then we'll have our weekly picks of the week, including a lock and upset special. Okay? Here we go.
Sounds good.
Yos is
just so you guys know, this is not the format. I'm going out to lunch, so I'm going to be 34th.
A big ass B just landed on the table that I'm working off of here.
Kill it.
This is not the format for the podcast going forward, guys. We will be doing the podcast, but we were with everybody moving back and Duke share better thoughts and stuff like that. This week is going to be this Zoom special.
Okay, Yos, you ready to start us off?
I'm ready to start us off.
Give us your steals and your overpays for the three guys you have.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with my first guy, which is Joseph's team. Joseph, the newbie, the rookie, has been playing fantasy for a while, so he knows his stuff. It's not like it's not like he's coming in like Ez and Charles, who always come in like they have no idea what's flying. I'm gonna put his. It was a weird one. So his steal could also end up being his overpay of the draft. I didn't really find a very hardcore overpay on Saf's team that I thought, but I will put David Johnson as his steal and overpay. Whereas if this guy gets, we know that he sucked last year when he did play. Was he playing hurt all those times? Who knows? If he was playing, if he was healthy and Joseph knew that he might have been healthy, then paying $27 for a guy that obviously doesn't have it anymore is an overpay. But if he was not healthy and now he might be, and he shows any flashes of that old David Johnson, that $27 will be an absolute steal of the draft, and even could be a league winner type of guy.
Yes, before you continue, be careful not to step over any homeless people.
Already tried almost twice. Really, I could show you how disgusting the city has become. It really looks like the city is so bad, it like competes with Moshel's recap.
All right, Yos, keep going.
All right, so another pick that I did like on Saf's team is taking Julio for 51. Given the number that some of these wide receivers did go for, give me a first-round Julio with being one of the best receivers in football over the last X amount of years. And I know we say this every single year, and I'll say it again. If Julio even sniffs 8, 9, 10 touchdowns, he's the number one receiver in fantasy. Even if he gets the touchdowns that like a Devontae Adams would have got, he's the number one fantasy player in the whole season. So for $51, that's a great number. He'll give you consistent play all season long, but it's just the yards. It won't be much touchdowns, but I'm still fine with that. As you guys saw last year, how he took me to the promised land. Now moving on.
I like Julio also. We were doing this before, and I was looking at my guys as well as other guys in the draft, and getting Julio at 51 is just a flat-out steal. The target shares are there. I mean, listen, like you said, he's in order to get him into the top 2-3 wide receivers these touchdowns. And he doesn't always have them, but if he does, there are times where he's had 12 touchdowns in a season. And if he does, he gets there, and he's your number one wide receiver. He could very easily be the first wide receiver off the board next year.
I agree with that, and I think, his age is a factor. I don't know if he'll be number one off the board, but
and health too. He's always playing with an injury, but he's always playing.
I mean, we're in auction, so there's no guy who's off the board. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And now I'll move on to Dag's team. One thing that I personally didn't like. I know that quarterbacks are now getting $500 million contracts as if it's like, pocket change. I didn't like Dak Prescott at $42. I know a lot of the fantasy experts have him high. I don't see it, and I know he's a good quarterback. If I'm not mistaken, I think Lamar went for, what, 48?
48, yeah, high.
$48. So to spend $42 on a Dak, not that he knew that Lamar would be cheap considering Dak at 42, but give me the extra $6 for a guy that might actually double Dak in points.
Even Mahomes is 45. Mahomes is only 45, so it's $3 difference there.
Only 45. Yeah.
Right. So I didn't like that. I think there was better value at quarterback. Maybe not to the elite value that people have Dak at, but give me there's a stark drop off from Lamar and Mahomes, and then there's the field. So that's my overpay.
It's tough to predict that because, first of all, Dag is a Cowboys fan, so I think he was going to get hit no matter what. And it really depends on when guys get called out at the time. But, yeah, I do agree with you.
I still think in hindsight it's a nice amount to pay for a guy who, yeah, he's got weapons like crazy. And last year was a great year for him. But, with all these things, regression is the only constant. You don't get much better. And Dak, is this kind of guy who's, again, playing for a contract or whatever, but he's not really playing for anything because look at the numbers these quarterbacks are getting. Who just got a huge extension?
Deshaun got one.
Watson got a huge extension. You have a Mahomes $500 million deal. He just needs to play average and compete for the division, and he's going to get paid. So it's like he's got no motivation to really be great. And regression, like I said, is a big thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Cowboys are in a little bit of a predicament because if he plays well, they have to pay him. And if he plays like shit, they're probably still going to have to pay him, and they're not going to make the playoffs. So
Exactly.
They should have just signed him last year and got it over with, but we'll see what happens now.
On record, do you think Dak is a Cowboy next year, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be the only guy to say no. I don't think so. I think Jerry Jones and him have been playing footsie way too much, and I think one of them is going to realize that it's not worth it.
It's very interesting. They have a lot of mouths to feed there, and
you got to figure if Gallup has a good season, then add that to the list of guys that might need to get paid also. I'm going to go to my steal for Dagme. Is I don't know if I want to. I like to see it as a steal. It's a handcuff, but it's a steal. Latavius Murray at $4. Kamara hasn't been healthy, and I know they just gave him. They're working. Did they give him? They're working on the extension, and I know some people will say they wouldn't be coming this close to an extension if he wasn't healthy. I don't buy that. They did the same thing with Gurley. The Rams paid Gurley even though they knew he wasn't healthy. Kamara can go down at any point. He still has those last season, those back problems. I am yet to hear of a player in the NFL that has had back problems that all of a sudden went away out of nowhere. I have back problems since I was like 18, and it's still not gone away. Kamara will go down. I think if I saw there was a website that showed like an injury type of report type of thing, the chances a player gets injured. After Dalvin Cook, Latavius Murray was the second running back with the highest chance of getting injured. I'm sorry,
Kamara.
Kamara. And as we saw last year with a crappy-ish quarterback, Latavius Murray did very, very well. And I think Dak has himself a possible RB1 should Kamara miss any time. And I think if the Saints realize that, that Latavius Murray is as good as he was last year, should Kamara miss time, then when Kamara comes back, it might be like a timeshare type of thing where probably Kamara gets most of the carries, but Murray gets the goal line type of stuff. I like that for $4, and it's just one Kamara injury away from Dak possibly even flipping Latavius Murray for real gold. So that's what I have, and I know handcuffs are not really like a steal, but I love that pick.
Yeah, I had Murray last year for a couple of games when Kamara went down. The problem with buying a guy like Latavius Murray, and I feel like this happens every year, he goes in the draft. He either gets drafted or he gets bought. But if you have to hold him for 4 or 5 weeks until Kamara goes down, it's tough to hold that spot. So he ends up getting dropped and picked up. Like I picked up Murray last year.
I drafted him.
Yeah, you drafted him and I picked him up. So it's really going to be like he could be a league winner, a guy that could be an RB1 like you said. You just have to ride it out and try to hold that bench spot as long as you can.
Yeah, so it's a matter of now you let's say you have like a Murray or a Madison, where in your head it's not a matter of if the RB1 gets injured, it's a matter of when. So I don't know. I mean, I might be the schmuck in my end.
No, I was just going to ask you: is there anything? I mean, let's say they don't get a contract done. There's probably a chance he even holds out. You know, maybe like something goes sour. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to hold on to him. Like you said, Sherrari nailed it. You got to see how long you can ride with that guy on the bench. So I had tons of injuries last year, and you know, you don't really have the luxury of holding on to handcuffs over it. So.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Speed it up.
All right, let's go.
Stanley's team. I think the consensus overpay for Stanley's team was Calvin Ridley. I personally think it was an overpay, even though my soon-to-be brother-in-law, Dory's boyfriend, was trying to convince me all night after Duke's wedding on Sunday night. He was trying to convince me all night that he believes Ridley will end the season as a wide receiver 1. I don't see it. His stats that he bought was third-year receivers always go nuts. I don't know. $37 is a lot of money, especially since other receivers at that price range. I'd rather have more safe, more consistent. I don't think Ridley's going to be crap. I just think money could have been better spent elsewhere. The steal for Stan's team, I don't know. How did he get away with? He's not a great quarterback, but how did he get away with Baker for $6?
Baker.
No idea.
He's not a great quarterback, and I don't think he's gonna be great. But for $6 to bag a quarterback that can run and has no brains, so he'll just do whatever he wants, I think that was a decent pick. And at $6, I think that was that freed up a lot of money for Stan to go elsewhere, even though he's shopping for a quarterback right now as we speak. So if anybody has quarterbacks, hit Stan up.
I'm shopping for everything, guys. Hit me up with anything. Okay, next, let's move on. Mocas, give us your guys.
Yeah, just one thing on the Baker thing you didn't say is that guy's job is as secure as anybody's in this league also. So it's like it's a money pick. All right. Now, onto my steals and overpays. We're going to start with Charles. We're going to start with his steal. I think it all depends really how this guy plays, but I have one of two guys. I'll give you both of them. The first guy is Aaron Rodgers for $18. I think looking at what other quarterbacks were going for, $18 for an aging Rodgers he still gets it done every year. Still a 4,000-yard quarterback. He's still a 30-touchdown guy. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He doesn't run as much as he used to. This team is probably trending towards a running offense, but you look at Roger and you say, all right, fine. If he gets back a healthy Devontae Adams, if he starts checking down the ball a little bit more, he's got guys to throw to. He always makes these wide receivers so much better than they actually are, and I think that could be a steal for him. Second, Adam Thielen is my other guy for $25. I liked Adam Thielen going into the draft, and it helps him tenfold that there's no more Diggs there. I know Diggs didn't really take much away. in terms of target share, but what did he have? 80, 90, 100 targets a year, 60, 70 receptions, 1,000 yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns. Like, that stuff's got to go somewhere. And Thielen is the number one on this team for $25, and all of his receivers, really. Charles did a great job picking receivers that have added value this year. All of those targets are going to go to someone, and I think it'll be Thielen. So that's why I thought that was a steal. Now, Charles' overpay.
Time out.
Yeah, sorry.
Was it hard for you to compliment some things on Charles' team?
Well, isn't it hard for anybody to compliment Charles?
No, I think you more than anybody.
Okay. Well, it was very difficult to find something to compliment this man for. But don't worry, I'll make it up on the overpay. So this turns into a compliment in a way. But I was looking at Charles' team, and I looked at it and I said, there's really not much overpay. But you can look at one stupid thing he did, and it was before the draft even began. And I know Yossi doesn't want me to go here, but
he catered Duke's wedding. Is that where you were going?
No, that was after. He took Sam Darnold in the buyback, and he did not factor this in when it came to the draft. You had a quarterback for $10. You invested in him. And this goes for even in the NFL. You invested in a quarterback, you at least stick with them before even anything goes. You went and drafted Stafford, and you drafted Rodgers.
No, he didn't draft Stafford.
You picked Darnold.
Vic got Stafford.
Who's the other guy he has? I don't have my computer in front of me.
It was your team. You're supposed to do the research.
Shut up. Oh, I'll find it right now. I actually have it right here. Hold on. Ben, no, not Ben.
He has Rodgers and Cousins.
He has Cousins. Right. So Cousins was $12. Rodgers was $18. And, when you have Darnold for $10, you just look like an idiot. Those $10, you could have just picked any dip for $1, or you could have just passed on the, and you had third pick in the buyback.
Right. I was just going to say, he's the third guy, so that didn't make sense. Yeah.
You're really an idiot if you don't even play, at least justify it somehow. Those $10 could go elsewhere, or the $9 or whatever it was, go elsewhere. You could have built your team a little bit better. I still don't think Charles has all that good of a team. I think he spent very evenly across the board. Didn't pay too much for anybody. Didn't pay too little. But looking back at it, it's just so stupid. And even at the time, we all said it was dumb. But he compounded it by drafting 2 quarterbacks. And you didn't spend that much more for them. So and they're better. It just makes no sense. All right, that's my Charles commentary. Next up, I have Alsav. Alsav's steal of the draft, I think, is probably a guy that I loved 2 years ago. He helped me out get to the finals, in which I lost. I'm beating you to the punch, guys, so don't even say anything. I had James White. And James White was a great, great guy. Listen, he's not a running back. He's a scat back who comes out, check down guy. But you have to remember what Cam Newton did with CMC, right? This guy's a check down guy. He'll throw it, he'll air it out, but he'll check this down to James White all day long. Again, New England running backs are a little weird. You can't really rely on him. But I think what for sure is that James White's going to be involved in this offense, and he's going to be involved in the passing game. Not much in the running game, but definitely in the passing game. So, Damian Harris goes down. We don't know. They saying they have Rex Burkhead. They have Sony Michelle. Listen, those two guys are just all up in the air. The one constant's James White. For $5, you get an upside RB2 flex play. Very, very, very good buy. Now the overpay is so obvious, and I'm sure Al will look at it and say, I have no clue why I did this, but it's Brandon Cooks, $12. The guy sucks. He flat out sucks.
It's already questionable for game one.
One, he can't stay on the field. That's one. Two, he's a burner, and that's about it. The guy doesn't know how to get open outside of trying to run past guys. And he's just a bad, bad, bad wide receiver. I'd much rather, for $12, I don't know, I'll tell you on my next one, who the steal of this next person's draft, I'd much rather that guy. And you look at it and you say, this is stupid. For $12, you took Brandon Cooks? Brandon Cooks is garbage. All right, next. Next up, we have our fellow Zoom member, Stephen Harari, otherwise known as Sharari. The steal of the draft for him, to me, was a no-brainer. It's T.Y. Hilton. I love T.Y. Hilton in general. I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he does on the field on a consistent basis. Yes, you got to be healthy, you got to be on the field. I think what's been consistent with him between Andrew Luck, between Jacoby Brissett, and between what's going to be Phillip Rivers is that he's going to be a target for these guys. And he's going to definitely be a guy that is important in making this offense run in the passing game. And for $15, I'd much rather him for the extra $3 than Brandon Cooks. And it's not even questionable. Again, we could go over more for T.Y. Hilton, upside our wide receiver 2 versus a flex play max with Cooks, no brainer. Sherrari also didn't have that many guys that he overpaid for, but if I had to look back on it and say, there's three guys that were up in the air for me. One was the Buffalo defense. Buffalo defense is really good. Don't get me wrong, but for $3, are we really gonna go spend $3 on a defense? I don't know. Second guy, what?
I did.
Ask Stan. It's worth it.
I mean, yeah, I see it. They're really good, and they play in a crappy division. But okay, let's see. Let's see. $3 is just for me is too much to spend on any defense. Next guy's Drew Lock, $7, backup quarterback. I don't know. You had money to spend. Maybe you go get a guy like Tyrod for $4. I don't know. And lastly, Harrison Butker for $2. For a guy who hates kickers and been asking them to be abolished in the NFL, you go and spend $2 on him. You got a little bit in it.
It was the eighth cola, and I don't want to deal with kickers later on in the round, so I just said let me just pay $2 and take them.
That's the worst excuse I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, all the kickers went for $2 also.
It's worse.
No, just because you hate the kicker position, it doesn't mean you don't want to get a good. Wow, we have the
right,
kicker
exactly.
available. You want to have one of the best kickers.
Yeah, I'm not going to just grab somebody.
That's not the point. That's not the point. He spent on a kicker.
Okay, the point is that Sherrari thinks kickers are useless, so why even spend more than $1 on them?
Exactly.
That's the point. Okay, next, Sherrari, hit us.
All right, it's my turn here. I'm going to start with our boy Eds. I'm going to go with overpaid, and then I'm going to do steals. So I feel like he overpaid for Juju. Juju at 31 was a lot of money. I'm not a big Juju fan this year. I know that he took a step back last year, and it was due to quarterback play, but I think it's more than that. I think targets that he had were there. He just wasn't catching the balls that he was in his second year in the league when he became this all-star stud. He was double what Keenan went for. He was the same price as Mike Evans. He was only $2 less than OBJ and A.J. Brown, who I all think are better than him. I think even with Ben, even with a bounce-back year, he's still not going to be what he was in that second year in the league. So that was my overpay for Ez. My steal, he didn't really, like I said, he didn't really have a lot of steals. But if I had to pick one, I would say Lindsey at 3. Now, normally I wouldn't give him Lindsey, but the problem with picking Lindsey at 3 is that he also has Gordon at 33. So he really has the both of the guys in the backfield here. And it's going to be tough for Ez moving forward to figure out which guy is the guy and to see who's going to be starting in that backfield. Like, he's not going to be able to start both of them because I don't think they're both going to produce. But he's going to have to pick one of them, and he's going to have to hold on to the other one and see where that goes. Next guy is Vic. So for my overpay for Vic was Aaron Jones at $50. Now, I think Aaron Jones is great. I mean, Mokas had him last year. I know he was a little frustrated with him, but I think he's a great player. But the problem is there's a rookie there now. A.J. Dillon is there. Looks good. Coaching staff in Green Bay doesn't really utilize Aaron Jones as much as people would like them to. And it sometimes can be frustrating, and he's not on the goal line, and he should be, and he's the back that should be there, but they don't put him there. And not only that, this was his second running back. It's not like Aaron Jones was his first running back off the board or bought. He bought McCaffrey for 76. So he's spending a lot of money on two running backs who are good, which is a good strategy, but then I feel like some of that money could have been spent on upgrading other positions for him, like his wide receiver core is weak. If he took a little bit of money off of Jones and spent it somewhere else and then upgraded his wide receivers, which outside of Keenan, I think needed some help. Speaking of Keenan, he's my steal at 16. He took him at $16. There were 20 wide receivers that were taken at the same money or more than Keenan, and I feel like Keenan, even with a new quarterback, even without Rivers, he's a top 15 talent. So to get him at 16 when 20 guys taking more than him, that's my steal for him. Now I'm going to go to Yos, who I feel overpaid Miles Sanders at 49. I like Sanders. I drafted him last year. I kept him throughout. I know he had a bad first half. He wasn't the guy yet, but the second half he came on strong. The problem with Sanders is that Boston Scott came on late in that year, and he became the catching back for them for the last two games, and he became the 2-minute guy. He became the third down back. So even though Sanders can handle the workload and can catch out of the backfield, I think that Boston Scott's going to come on and he's going to take a little bit of that role. Sanders at 49 is more than Chubb. It's more than Drake, who won Yost the league last year. It's more than Mixon, who I feel is a better talent. So he overspent a little bit on Mixon there. On Sanders there, even though he's a good talent. Also, side note, he also spent 26 on Woods when he could have got him for 22 in the buyback, even though he wasn't taking him at that point. I think Woods at 26 yeah.
Sorry, one comment on the Sanders thing also is that O-line is in shambles too. I mean, from what I understand, they've lost two starting guys. They're gonna have to move one guy from left guard to right guard, and just for me, I never had my eyes on Sanders for that reason and the Boston Scott reason. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Yossi, Boston Scott is available. Next, keep going.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay, so I'm going to go for my steal. I have Kyler at 35. I wanted Murray. I felt like he was sold a little bit quick. I wasn't really paying attention, and he went for 35, 1, 2, 3 sold. I think US has something to do with that, but I think second-year quarterback, new weapon, same legs that he had last year. He could be a great breakout candidate. I actually had him ranked ahead of Russell, who went for 40. On my team, I had him ranked ahead of Deshaun, who went for 36. So I think that was a good buy at 35 for Yost. I think he's going to be happy with him this year.
Thank you very much, Ferrari. That was nice and quick. Show him
Good
how
job,
it's done. You got other guys just rambling for 4 hours. Okay, I'll go now. I had Moshal. My steal for Moshal was Cam Newton, $10. Even though it's Moshal's, I guess, his third quarterback, he has a committee of 3 quarterbacks, Ben, Daniel Jones, and Cam. Cam at $10. If he's healthy and he's running, I think it's a steal. He's a former league MVP. McDaniels is very creative. He'll figure out a way to get him in space. There's no real running back to speak of he'll take the goal line. It's like a Josh Allen situation. He'll have all the goal line carries probably. He'll have a lot of running. Last year, he was injured, so he couldn't throw. If he's healthy, he'll throw, and I think he'll be great. His overpay is Deshaun Jackson, $3. Fuck you for taking Deshaun Jackson. You're an asshole. He's worth negative $5 million. Moshal, you're an asshole. Okay, next, Duke. Steal of the draft for Duke. Patrick Mahomes, $45. We said before, Lamar went for 48. I still think Mahomes is the QB1. We have 10 minutes remaining in this Zoom. I still think Mahomes is the QB1, and he got him for $3 less than Lamar and $10 less than what he went for last year with Ferrari. Anytime you can do that, I think it's a great steal. Paired with Breeze, phenomenal. Overpay, Still a quarterback. Nick Foles, $1. Couldn't beat out Trubisky. That sucks. Okay, next. Mocas, steal of the draft. Godwin, $41. Criminal. It's criminal. I paid $37 for Ridley, $38 for Galladay. I'd much rather have Godwin at 41. He'll be hooking up with Tom Brady on the field and off the field a lot. They love to kiss over there. Tom Brady, yes. Overpay. Joe Burrow, $25. Obviously, I get the hype. I love Joe Burrow. I think he's phenomenal, and I watched all of his games last year. Basically, this guy's great. It's a lot of money for a rookie quarterback, and he's also a QB1, which is I guess that's why he spent big on him. He needed a quarterback, but like I'm still weirded out by $25. It was like a $5 guy.
It was dumb, and I admitted it at the time, and after I did it, I admitted it.
That's my three guys. Nice and quick. That's the way it was supposed to go. You guys like to ramble. We have 8 minutes left. I'm gonna end this Zoom. We'll start another one, and we'll do playoff teams and weekly picks. Got it?
Okay. See you in a minute.
Okay, we are live for part 2. We're going to have our playoff team predictions. Sharari is going to go first, followed by Mocas, then Yossi, and then me. I want you guys to save your picks so I could record them after the show, just to keep for later.
Okay.
Listen to this again. Okay, Sharari.
All right, so I'm going to start. I'm going to go with my first playoff team is going to be Vic. I think Vic has one of the strongest teams this year. He has 3 guys who can carry his team all year. Lamar, CMC, and Jones. I think they're going to put up big numbers for him every week. And I think he's going to have a solid 50, 60 points a week from just those 3 guys alone. I think if Keenan can be what he's been the last couple of years, even with a new quarterback, his wide receiver core, like I said before, is a little weak, but Keenan is going to be the guy that's going to be consistent for him. And if he is, then he's going to be fine. I think if Edelman develops that chemistry with Kim, he becomes that dumb-off guy. That's a solid wide receiver too, and I think he's one to look out for. My next pick is going to be the rookie, Joe Saff. I think Saff is going to make it into the playoffs this year, led by his solid wide receiving core of Julio Jones and Amari Cooper. I think if Kamara is healthy and gets that contract done, which I heard they're close on, I think he'll be fine this year. I think he'll be the same Kamara he's been. And he'll make the playoffs this year. Next guy I had in the playoffs is going to be Moshal. I know there's some question marks on Moshal's team with rookie, with Hilaire. I know that Joe Saff is not a big fan of him, but he was hyped up all season. They drafted him in the first round, which is still saying something. He's the only guy there. There's no one really behind him, so I think he'll be fine there on a high-powered offense. He also has Big Ben coming back from a long time off, so I don't know how good he's going to be back and how much he'll be back early on, but a lot of people have Pittsburgh going far this year, and that only helps if you have a good offense. So I think that he'll be fine as well. And then he has OBJ coming off an off year, but I think he pulls it together, and I think he makes it into the playoffs as well. Next guy I have is Mocas. I don't particularly love his team, but he just works so hard behind the scenes, and we just got to throw him a bone. So somehow he'll make it in. I don't know how, but he'll make it there. I mean, and if Burrow and Tyrod are as good as he thinks they are, and as much as he spent on them, I think he'll be fine, and he'll just sneak in somehow. Next guy I have in is going to be Duke. He quietly put together a solid squad. He tried to do the same thing he did last year. He ended up only getting Saquon this year, but I think Saquon has a bounce back year. I think Daniel Jones in year 2. I think they'll be fine. Mahomes is a stud. I had him last year. I really loved him. He's just a pleasure to own. As long as Duke's duties as husband don't get in the way this year, I think he'll make some noise. And I haven't checked this stat, but I'm pretty sure that guys who are married or newly married end up doing some sort of like either winning the league or making it far in the playoffs, something. But there's some connection there. I got to look into it, but unless you guys know about it. But I'm pretty sure that newly married guys do some nice things in Mazza League. So, the Duke has that going for him.
Last year, my 11th year married was like my first year. That's how awesome it was. So that's why I wanted to leave.
Right, yeah, that's nice. Of course.
That's the drop in for you guys to send.
No, but I think isn't the year that Moshal got married, he also won it, and then I think the year that I got married, I won it. So, that's 2 guys right there.
Boom.
And then the last guy I have in there is me. I'm just going to throw my name in there. I mean, I don't have the best draft. My team is not one of the sexiest ones out there. But out of all the teams that I didn't mention, out of the 7 that are left, that last spot's up for grabs, and I think I usually maneuver my way into the playoffs somehow. So I'll try to keep my streak going and become the 6th team into the playoffs.
Right. Just out of curiosity, is your list based on seed or just?
No, it's just based on 6 guys, and that's it. Yeah.
Just wanted to know. Okay. Next, Mocas.
Hey, so I didn't go as in depth as Sherrari did in terms of, because I thought we were just going to rapid fire these.
Of course not.
But
Okay. Okay.
Shut up. But anyways, forgot what I was going to say. Okay, just rattle them off. My first playoff team. Oh, this is not in any specific seed order. That's what I want to say. My first playoff team is Stan.
Nice. All right.
My second playoff team is Dag. Vic will be my third. I too believe in the luck of the Arus. Duke will be in, and I think he will do very well this year. There we go. And then Sherrari, and then myself with the last playoff spot. So I think, you know, based off of whatever I saw when I was making this list, that I think these guys are going to make the playoffs. But based off of what I was looking at, this league is pretty balanced outside of a few top teams looking at their teams. That the league's pretty balanced. I think there's guys that took different approaches in terms of how they wanted to build their rosters. But all in all, I think this is going to be a very competitive year.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go based on seeding from 6 to 1. Number 6, I'm going to have myself in there. I didn't have the best draft. I'm not a big fan of my own team, but I always I never win or get my playoff spot based on my draft.
Yes,
it's always based on trades.
Off of extorting Savdies.
So I did it to everybody. I've traded all my life. That's what I'm known for. So, and I will continue to trade, and I will trade myself into the 6th spot, and I will continue my what's currently 6 years straight of playoffs, which is a Mazza record, and it's still going. 6 or 7, I'm not sure actually. For the 5th, huh?
Check the website.
I gotta check it up. Number 5, I'm gonna go with Vic Sav. I like this team a lot, and I think he's going to be one of those the 5 seed where they score a lot of points, but somehow had bad beats. So he will be one of those teams. Next, I'm gonna put Dag in the number 4 spot. He didn't. I don't know if he enjoyed his draft. He liked his draft, but I like this team a lot. Stan, I have in the number 3 seed. Who's tailored by China? Joseph, right?
No,
Joseph.
Alsav.
You're right. Alsav, I have at the number 2 seed, which I was considering putting in the number 1 seed, but it's between him and Duke, and I think Duke takes the number 1 seed, and I don't even think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna give my picks now. I'll start from I put mine in order. So number 1 seed, I have Duke as well. I think his team is top heavy, but very good. 2nd seed, I have Vic and his top heavy team. 3rd seed, I have Moshal. 4, I have Alsav. 5 is Dagme. 6 is Sherrari. And I only put you in, Sherrari, because I feel you always find a way to get in the playoffs somehow. You always do it somehow. I don't know. And I put for a bonus, Yossi was my last man out, 7th seed, because I'm basing that off of no one getting raped by you this year. I feel like going to be like 1 year hiatus of rapage because they all saw what happened last year.
So that's what I don't know who I was telling. I was telling one of you guys this week that, like, every year I think to myself, I was like, oh my God, there's no way I can do what I did last year. I actually have to study this draft because there's no way I can, like, get trades that, like, benefit me. Every single year it's been happening. And then somehow every year it does happen. So I'm bound to stop that and get killed. But I'm still going with me getting a trade this year that'll propel me up.
Maybe it'll be after this Zoom meeting.
Yes, let's go.
We'll talk. I think the consensus from all 4 of us, I think only Vic and Duke were on all of our lists. Everybody else is scattershot. No one said Charles. No one said Ez. No one said. I think that's it. Saf has a vote. I have a vote. Mokas has a vote. Who am I missing? Somebody missing?
Okay, so the pity vote, but it still counts.
Sherari has votes. Sherari has 3 votes. Only Yoss didn't put him in. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna keep track of that. Let's see how it goes. Okay, now we'll make our weekly picks. We're gonna pick every game in a rapid fire, unless you have a lock or an upset special. We're gonna keep track of this all season to see records. The lock will be your best bet. You'll get 2 points for that.
Okay.
Upsets, nothing. Upsets, you don't get anything extra. It's just whatever, for fun. All right. I'm gonna go through each game now. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up an Excel sheet.
We're gonna do every game for the whole season?
Why not? Let's see what we can do. Why not?
We'll do it anyway.
Or we could do 2 games, whatever. I'm gonna keep track of the picks. Okay. Saf versus Stan. Sherari, who do you have?
Let me get to the matchup. Give me one second.
Zoom research.
No, just looking at the matchup. I have in this matchup. I'm gonna go with Saf.
Saf. Mokas, who do you have?
Saf.
Yours, who do you have?
Dan.
I have Saf. And also it's partial lock of the week because my lock of the week is Saf will be duking by the end of tonight. As Watson and Johnson tonight, I have nobody. I expect a duking text. Okay. Next, Yoss versus Duke. Sherari, who do you have?
I have Duke.
Next, Mokas, who do you have?
Duke.
Yoss.
Duke, and he's gonna make it ugly.
I have Duke as well. Sweep. Dagme versus Alsav. Sherari, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm gonna take Al.
Al. Yoss, who do you have?
I was a big fan of Alsaf's team, but I think I'm gonna go Dag for this week.
Dag. Mokas, who do you have?
Dag.
Dag. I have Alsav. It's my upset special of the week. For no reason. Because I like his receivers better than Dag. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
If Evans doesn't play, though, all bets are off. Chuck versus Moshal. Sherari.
I have Moshal. I don't even look at the teams. I just know that it's Charles. I have Moshal.
Yoss.
I have Charles as my upset of the week.
Oh, baby. Mokas.
I have Moshal as my lock of the week.
I also have Moshal as my lock of the week. Next,
Fuck Chuck.
Ezra and Mokas. Sherari, who do you start with?
This is a tough one for me because they're very evenly matched. But I'm gonna go with Mokas.
Mokas. Yoss?
Ezra with the lock of the week.
Lock of the week, baby. Mokas.
I have me. I got me.
Nice. I also have Mokas. Last matchup, Sherari versus Victor. Sherari, you could start us off.
Yeah, I have Vic as the lock of the week.
Wow.
I'm not trying to pull a page out of Stan's book, but this is the biggest part of the season. He has the best team, so he's my lock.
Yoss, who do you have?
I got Vic Sav.
Mokas?
I have Sherari as my upset of the week.
Wow, nice. I have Vic Sav. Okay. Any consensus? The consensus is Duke to beat Yossi. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is
Split.
whatever. Split.
Okay.
Split decision. Okay,
I'm
boys.
excited.
That's it. We'll see you all tonight. Football starts.
Whoa. Time out.
Timeout.
Are we not going to predict who beats who in the finals?
We can. You want to? Go ahead.
I think Alsav takes his first championship beating Duke.
Wow. Woo! Anybody else want to make a prediction?
I haven't even gotten that far.
Me
But
either. But
I'll make a prediction off the cuff. I think it's going to be Vic versus Duke, and Duke takes it home.
wow. Ferrari, anything?
Yeah, I was leaning that way also because just from looking at it, those are my 2 best teams. But I'll go somewhere different now. I'll take Duke over Mocha.
Wow.
What'd you just say?
Duke over Mokas.
Wow.
I will take.
Even though Mocha is not making the finals, I just wanted to put it in there.
Right.
I will take. Fuck, that pains me to say that. Wow. Moshal over Duke.
I want to make it clear here. Nobody said Charles, right?
Charles is not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
We'll see you guys next week. Regular scheduled podcast. Me, Stan, and the other 2 guys also will be recording
What-
live
look
and
at
then
that.
posting it the following day.
Also, don't forget to pick up your Scandinavian swimmers at
Oh.
Trader Joe's. They
Oh,
taste
so
just
I'll
like
bring-
real sweet. No, they don't. They don't. But whatever. They're also good. Yeah,
Add
Ferrari
mine
has
as
some.
Anybody
I'll
want
bring
to
your
sing,
Gator Master
sing us
tonight.
out?
Oh, man.
Anybody want to sing us out?
Number one sponsor.
Sing us out, Mocas. Go ahead.
Da-da-da-da-da.